This video continues work on the Unit 11 Test Review number 2 worksheet. Number 15, find the focus and directrix of the equation and then graph the parabola. So find the focus and directrix. Well, all we have is the equation. And from the equation class, we can find h and k. And that's going to give us our vertex. So we know that our vertex here, sorry about the messy writing there, our vertex is going to be at h, which we flip the sign of, and k, which we keep the sign of because this is a vertex form quadratic. So vertex is at negative 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, positive 3, 1, 2, 3. There is our vertex. Alright, we got to find the p-value in order to find the focus and directrix. We find that by using the a value. So since our a value is 1/4, our p value is going to be 1 over 4a. And that's 1 over 4 times 1/4. If you change the 4 class to 4 over 1, you're going to end up with 1 over 4 times 1 is 4. We're going to multiply these two fractions together. 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 4 is 4. So that's actually 1 over 4/4. And that equals 1 over 1. And that, of course, equals 1. So our p-value is 1. And since a is positive, p has to be positive. With our p-value, we can now find our focus. Our focus is going to be 1 unit above the vertex because p is 1. I forgot to label this. Sorry, that was a focus. I should have labeled this as the vertex. If the focus is 1 above the vertex, then the directrix is 1 unit below the vertex. So there is our directrix. I will label that as D. So now what do we find out here? I hope there's enough room here on your paper. We're going to have to write now that the focus is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, negative 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, so negative 6, 4. The directrix is at y equals positive 2. So y equals positive 2. I just look at where it crosses the y-axis. It crosses the y-axis at positive 2, so that's what our equation is, y equals positive 2. And then it asks us to graph the parabola. We can do that. If the p-value is 1, then you go to the focus and you double that. 2, so 1 times 2 is 2 to the left, or 2 to the right, sorry. 2 to the left. And then we can go ahead and draw our parabola through those points the best that we can. Close enough. Again, as long as I see these 3 points on your test, I will know that you graphed properly. Alright, let's take a look at question number, letter B. Same thing, what's the focus and directrix? And then graph the parabola. Alright, again, we know what our vertex is. Our vertex is H. And look, there's no k value. It's like having a plus 0 there. There's no k value, so I know k is 0. Our h value, we flip the sign. So negative 4 becomes positive 4. There's our vertex at 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 0. You know, class, I don't like where this x or this y, sorry, this x-axis shows up. It's going to be too low. I have a feeling we're not going to be able to graph this. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to get rid of this. You might have to just cross it off. I want you to add an x-axis right here. I'll make that black so you guys can see that it's part of our worksheet. Let's make our x-axis right here, otherwise we're not going to be able to graph this properly. And let's draw some arrows on here so we know this is our x-axis. So make that correction. Okay, so now we should be able to plot our vertex, which is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. There's our vertex. Alright, let's find our p-value. We're going to find that by using A. A is equal to negative 1/12. Our p-value is going to be 1 over 4a. It's going to get messy over here. I'm going to try to leave some room. This is going to be 1 over 4 times negative 1/12. Oh, that's going to be really hard to read. I hope you're listening to this class and not just skipping the audio. Alright, so now we're going to have 1 on top, and we're going to multiply this fraction 4 over 1 times negative 1/12. Numerator times numerator. 4 times 4 is 4. 1 times 12 is 12, and that's going to be negative. So there is our answer so far. I don't have room for this, so I'm going to bring it down here. If our answer is 1 over negative 4/12, we're going to use reciprocals to get rid of that. Let's multiply the denominator times its reciprocal, negative 12 over 4. And if we do that, we're going to have to multiply the numerator by negative 12 over 4 as well. The great part is these cancel, they turn to 1 because they are reciprocals, and now we have 1 times negative 12 over 4. Well, that's pretty easy. That just ends up being negative 12 over 4. If you put that in your calculator, we can reduce that. Both of these are divisible by 4. This is going to be negative 3 over 1 or negative 3. So our p-value is negative 3. Okay, knowing our p-value gets us to our focus and directrix. Our focus will be negative units below the vertex, so 1, 2, 3. There's our focus. Our directrix will be 3 units above our vertex, so there is our directrix. And now let's write out our focus and directrix, because that's what the question is asking us. Our focus is going to be at 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So 4, comma, negative 3. And our directrix is going to be at y equals, let's take a look, 1, 2, 3. So y equals positive 3. And now we can go ahead and graph our parabola. If the focus is negative 3, if the p-value is negative 3, we just take 3 and double it. That's 6. Let's go ahead and plot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's our 2 points on our graph, and I'll just try my best to sketch a parabola through those. Again, for me, not going to be as pretty as yours, but you get the picture. I've got a vertex and 2 points on the parabola. There's my estimate. Makes sense. It faces down. Our A value is negative. Our P value is negative. We cannot cross the directrix, so this parabola must be facing down, and that is letter B. I'm going to go ahead and just stop and go to the next video, because when we get to the back, questions 16 and 17, they both have to do with designing a parabola for a cooker and a flashlight reflector, so I want to cover those on the same video.